All right, let's see. This thing is going. Welcome to my studio. I know it's impressive. Don't feel overwhelmed. I'd like to share something with you, and let's see if we can get it all into one take. As a Christian, I've found that my biggest battle is between feelings and faith. Now, a lot of people would say, look, yeah, no, but it's really between good and evil. Well, ultimately, yes. But you see, the thing is, that isn't so confusing to me, because it's kind of a clear-cut choice. Do the right thing, choose good. Now, that isn't to say that I'm always going to get it right. I mean, there's often times when, you make mistakes and you fall short of what you've been aiming for. But at least I've always been able to make a clear distinction between those two things. I've always known which is good and which is bad. Sometimes I've chosen the wrong one. But between feelings and faith, it's not so simple. And I've often been guilty of allowing my feelings to dictate how steadfastly I believe in God's promise for my life. The thing is, it's not that feelings are necessarily evil or bad or something like that. I mean, they can be good, they can be bad, sometimes they're just indifferent. But they can also be true and sometimes false or untrue, and that can get confusing as heck. It's like, imagine when you're younger, and when you started dating and you thought you were in love, and as you gained a bit more life experience, you kind of like later on figured out, no, I was just infatuated. And in some sense, these two feelings start to interact, because faith can affect your feelings and your feelings can affect your faith. And that's where the problem is. Because one of these two entities is actually meant to be a standalone item. Faith. And the thing is, how can things that are so interwoven supposed to be separate? And that's where the struggle starts, because you have to almost surgically start to separate and remove these two apart. Why is that so important? It's because a standalone item operates at its very best when it's free from outside interference or outside contamination. And faith, by its very nature, is not meant to be fluid or given to whimsical changes and stuff like that. And that's exactly what feelings are. They flow backwards and forwards, and they're given to a lot of change. Faith is security in the promise that He'll never leave us, turn us down, that He'll always remain faithful, have our back, and all those kind of things. And if our faith becomes subject to the outside interference, it also becomes reliable. You see, faith by its very nature means to vigorously stand firm. Now you might think, well, if my feelings are positive, then it's going to be positive to my faith too. Well, in a way, yes, that is true. A positive attitude or mindset can boost your faith. But if that's all that's driving it, it's going to be a bit like a sugary drink. That boosts your energy levels, and you have more energy until it wears off. And then you're left drained, and you're grumpy, and you've got a low, and all those kind of things. Simply put, both of these things, feelings and faith, can be a fuel that drives us. But feelings are highly volatile and combustible, and you never know what you're going to get. But faith, on the other hand, is reliable and it's dependable. 1 Corinthians 1 verse 9 in the Amplified reads, God is faithful, He's reliable, He's trustworthy, He's ever true to His promise, and He can be depended on. That is such a cool verse, man. As somebody myself that's prone, not the whole time, but prone to have times of feeling depressed and stuff like that, I'm vulnerable to letting these feelings spill over into my faith and the reality that He is constantly there for me. It doesn't change the fact that He's there for me, but it changed my belief and my faith in it. And as much as what that isn't a good thing, some good things has come of it. And that is to make a distinction between these two things. I think the trick is to allow your faith into your feelings, but never the other way around. Look, that doesn't mean that you're going to deny your feelings and always be happy-go-lucky. On the contrary, if anything, we should expose our feelings to God and allow His faithfulness to direct us. I know it seems like an easy answer when I put it down on paper and I just say, well, okay, so let faith rule your feelings and not the other way around. But it can be a challenge. I mean, look at the Israelites, wait until you've been walking around in the desert for 40 years, and all of a sudden your feelings start to impact pretty heavily on your faith. The thing is, there isn't a quick fix answer, but there is an answer about how to overcome feelings that might sometimes run opposite to God's promises in our lives. But I can tell you this, that feelings change really fast. And even though there's going to be times when everything in life seems kind of like messed up and upside down, subject even that to God's promise. I don't mean fake a smile and pretend it's all cool, but place your doubts and your fears in His hands for safekeeping. And you'll be amazed at how caring and understanding the Holy Spirit actually is when it comes to stuff like this. Proverbs 3 verse 5 says, "Trust in the Lord with all of your heart and lean not on your own understanding. Acknowledge the Lord in all of your ways and He will make you happy." One of my favorite verses. And as you continue to walk that path and subjecting your feelings to God and your faithfulness, you'll find that the flow-on effect, the knock-on effect, starts to become faith flowing over into your feelings rather than feelings flowing over to into your faith. And it might not happen overnight. I mean, hey, who knows how God's going to choose to work in your life? Maybe it does go that way. But if it doesn't go that way and it's not like an instant remedy for you, remember this: you never ever become better at anything by doing less of it. You need to do more of it to become better at it. It's a discipline, it's a lifestyle to periodically check yourself and your emotional status. There's something unbelievably comforting in knowing that you can simply depend on someone and that they won't be swayed by others' opinion of you or even your own opinion of you, by your status or anything like that. And that's God and His promise. Hebrews 13 verse 8 says, He's the same yesterday, today, and for all ages to come. And we can choose to chase one good feeling after another good feeling just to see them evaporate and fade away. Or we can also say, God, I'm going to submit to You. I'm going to trust in You. I'm going to believe in Your faithfulness, even more than what I am feeling at the given moment, because I know my feelings are fickle and I know they change real quick. Watch God draw closer to you. In 50 years that I've been on earth, He has always come through for me. Even if I might have wavered, He never did. Cheerio and God bless. Thanks for watching.